Hey, what's going on, Fire Fam? Hey, very apologetic for starting the show late, but I'm sure you all can surmise why the show is starting late on this particular Friday, January 27th, because at 7 p.m. Eastern, the Memphis Police Department released to the public the video, and it's very problematic for obvious reasons, but even more problematic as I was watching it live. But the video showing the beating that led to the eventual death of Tyre Nichols by Memphis police, five of whom have already been charged with a assortment of crimes, including second degree murder, including aggravated assault, and I believe official officer misconduct. And y'all, the video is actually still playing now. I'm watching CNN. Lord help me. You know how much I loathe the cable news networks, but I know that they would have it. I know they would have it at 7. And I figured whomever amongst us was going to watch it was going to watch it at 7. I know the feeling amongst many of us also is that we don't like to see such videos, which is why I'm not going to show it here. If you want to find it and seek it out, it will be readily and easily available for you to do so. But because the lead up to the release of this video has been something pretty much unprecedented that we have seen collectively, from the national media to the local media to Memphis law enforcement to law enforcement, I'm certain, in your respective cities and towns, have taken precautions in advance of the release of the video of the beating death of Tyre Nichols. Um, I felt journalistically it was important for me to at least look at what they put out there. And what they put out there is obviously difficult, but like I said, problematic for a lot of reasons. Because first of all, and I can hear Aaron Burnett on CNN right there, and I did not like the fact she was like, "We're gonna watch this all together." It's like, like, what the fuck, bitch? What you think this is story time? You think we about to watch the shit as a fucking family? Like, do you understand what the hell this is? And she, again, I have lots of issues with this, but she was like, it was the beating of a man. No, specifically, it was the beating of a black man. It was the beating of a black man. This time, tragically, by five black cops. And it is a good thing that those policemen have been fired and charged. The speed at which they were removed from duty and charged criminally has everything to do with their skin color and very little to do with Tyree's skin color, because seldom have we seen the criminal injustice system work with all deliberate speed when it comes to charging and prosecuting white police when they kill black people. It's usually a very drawn out process. It usually involves many weeks or even months of sustained protest and organization for something to come about. Maybe a firing, very unlikely, criminal charges, and even more unlikely than that, a criminal conviction. But what they just showed tonight is very troubling, especially in the light of the kind of person that Tyree has been revealed to be, a very sweet 29-year-old young man, a father of a 4-year-old son, a young man that liked to skateboard. And the very beginning of the first segment of the video, played by CNN, it starts off showing the body cam, kind of like the dash cam of one of the officers' cars that is supposed to be in pursuit of Tyree. Except there's a lot of portions in this video where there is no audio. And I find that very suspicious and troubling. These videos, I saw the first three. I think there are four total. It sounds like I say it sounds like, but it sounds like the fourth one is playing currently on CNN because the anchor said that there would be no audio on it. And I know my television is on, I know the sound is up, and I don't hear anything. So I would imagine that the fourth clip is what's playing now. But the previous three clips were of body cam angles from different police officers on the scene. And there are lots of instances where the audio completely drops out. And it's like, well, I know why, but I mean, you all are carefully editing this. It's already bad. The officers first encounter Tyree when they are pulling him over, or again, it's a little confusing, and I wish and I think it's obviously confusing intentionally, although they do seem to be out to prosecute these cops, but still the ambiguity of some things that I see in these videos still stands out as still trying to hold some protection up for these officers in some way, and I'll get to that in a moment, but I'm trying to organize and process in my head what it is that I just saw here. So the fact that these videos are edited, they're I mean obviously edited for visuals, but again, even within the edited versions, the lack of audio, I scratch my head at. Their first encounter with Tyree, they get him out of the car. This young man is, it seems to be very amenable to what the police are asking him to do. In fact, he's asking them to please calm down as they begin escalating the situation, screaming at him, cursing at him, beginning to beat him. He is Tyree. Again, the angles are not great. You hear a lot of sound, and that's why the pieces where there are no sound I find really telling. But so Tyree, you can hear him starting to get distressed, like, hey man, calm down. Like, I'm complying, I am on the ground, I'm on my stomach. But I suppose the level of his compliance was not up to these officers' desires. So they began to beat him. They pepper sprayed him. One of them tried to deploy his taser. I'm not clear whether or not the taser actually struck Tyree. Maybe one prong did and the other part did not. I'm not clear. But I see very obviously why Tyree ran. I understand why he ran. And I hate the fact that in this country, I still get I mean, we all do, I know, ginormous Fugitive Slave Act vibrations from the police. I cannot understand why, if a black man runs from the scene, for when he is being beaten, for when he is clearly in fear for his life from these officers, why they must go after him like a pack of rabid dogs, like a pack of wild animals. And this young man Tyre Nichols was what, allegedly pulled over for reckless driving. That was another thing that jumped out to me. I said, we need 5 fucking cops out here for reckless driving and for fleeing on foot. Like, that shit never made it makes perfect sense. I understand, but it just boggles my mind, because how many of our men specifically end up dead at the hands of these police encounters because of these bullshit traffic stops. So clearly these cops were pissed off that Tyree made them run, right? Most of don't y'all remember from your younger days, those of y'all who occasionally may have been on the other side of the law, I was friends with a bunch of them. You know what I'm saying? The police would not be very happy once you made them run. Never me, because, I'm not fast enough to run from the cops. But these particular cops were incensed that Tyree made them run. In fact, one of them was so mad, you hear him say to the other, as the other officers are searching for Tyree in this residential neighborhood, what I perceive to be a residential neighborhood, I hope they stomp him out. The cop said that twice. I hope they stomp him out like the worst harbinger of events to come in just a few short moments later. So they don't show And again, and maybe I need to watch it again because again, I heard a lot of sounds. I didn't see a lot of pictures. Um, the way that we heard the family for Tyre Nichols at the press conference, I think we watched this Tuesday. The white lawyer, not Ben Crump, right? The white lawyer said they beat him like a human pinata. I have not seen that visual. I have not seen that. And that makes me wonder, did perhaps attorneys and other law enforcement, because it seems to me like law enforcement across the country got an opportunity to view this video beforehand because they all seem to know ahead of time how horrible it was before they started deploying their plans for the protest tonight. But we'll get to that in a moment. So the other part of the video, which is supposed to be depicting the worst of it, you hear Tyree just moaning, 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 moaning. You hear him call for his mother. Um, while it seemed as though he was much more conscious and with it, because at a certain point, he does not sound like he is all right, like he is in distress. And while Tyree is moaning, in what position on the ground, I'm not exactly sure. But while he is moaning in agony and in pain, these cops are standing around congratulating each other. You know what I'm saying? Man, I had to wail on him like blah, blah, blah times, man. Da, 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 da. Complaining about their injuries. Talk about how he was going to feel it the next day because his knee got all fucked up. uh, Another one lost their glasses. It's like you guys are sitting here listening to this man go into critical condition as a result of the beating from your hands, but all y'all can do is sit around and jackjaw and talk shit and brag and boast about how many times you hit him, how many whales you landed on him. It was grotesque. It's absolutely grotesque. And again, because it's more audio than per se video. And again, I didn't see the final fourth clip, which was supposed to have been an aerial angle of the incident, but with no sound. It was all supposedly silent, which again, I have questions. That part I did not witness when CNN showed it live. But gang, I would love to know what you all think of it. Shirley, Northern Witch, I see you guys in here. I don't even know if y'all watched it. And if you didn't watch it, hey Nat A, what's up, Sugar? Sugar Shan. If y'all didn't watch it, I get it. Hey Renee. But I wanted to see it because I wanted to see what the entire nation, the whole American apparatus was so convinced and is so convinced that people are going to take to the streets. They wanted to pre-warn people that, hey, maybe this is something, even though this is not what they are saying directly, but this is basically what they're saying with all this run up to this release of this tape. It's like, this is probably some shit that y'all should be in the streets for. This is probably some shit that you would probably want to quote unquote riot about or have an uprising behind. I know that they have planned protests tonight in DC. I'm guessing they got them in New York tonight, Renee. I'm guessing they got them out in Cali. I know they got them out in Washington State, Seattle, the Hearts. Um, this is what's up, Craig. Well, Craig, network news. You know how much I hate to send you there, buddy. I do not. I don't like to send anybody to the mainstream network news. And I'm sure those takes are going to be rather horrendous as well. Because the focus on this being 5 black cops is the wrong focus, because abolish the police is what was screaming at me throughout watching the duration of that tape that I watched, because I don't fucking understand why you need a whole scorpion unit or whatever the fuck they call whatever they was doing, that specialized auto theft ring. I don't know what the fuck, property crime shit, right? The Memphis police have a specialized unit for stolen vehicles or car. I don't fucking know. It doesn't even matter. But it took 4 cops to pull over somebody for reckless driving, alleged reckless driving, because I don't know that the young man was recklessly driving at all. That's what the fucking cops said. And what they say don't mean jack shit because they lie as easily as they breathe. But I just saw an overdeployment of resources for a not very serious nor violent crime. Not even a fucking property crime is reckless driving. And some would argue it's a public safety crime. Sure, you could say that. But I also know it's some nonsense allegation very similar to disorderly conduct or assaulting a police officer. It's just some shit that they often say that they put on a young, usually black male motorist to make it, oh, well, he was doing something. And that was another thing, another takeaway from the black accused, well, now, yes, criminally charged officers. They were convinced that Tyree was on some sort of drug. Now, they didn't specify what. They kept saying, oh, man, he high. He got to be high. He has a kite. Da, 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 da. Well, I assure you, y'all, this incident took place on January the 10th. Here we are on the 27th. If Tyre Nichols had drugs in the system and he was high, I'm pretty sure we would have heard that by now. Okay? That young man was not high. That young man was in fear for his life. He was literally running for his life and he knew it. And he knew it. And what really kills me about these officers, not even the fact that they were black, it's the fact that Tyree was 29. These officers, they are all in the same age range, just about, give or take 2 to 5 years ish, right? These officers themselves, I believe the majority of them have not been on the force longer than 5 years. These are young black guys. And they didn't look at that young black guy and see somebody like themselves. They saw somebody that was worthy of vigorous pursuit for a duration of time, and who they were quite comfortable of handling him not only unprofessionally at the onset because they were cursing him, they were telling him to get on the fucking ground, put your motherfucking hands behind your back, bitch, you want to get stomped out. I mean, I'm like, god damn. When people say that the police are the biggest gang in the world, that sort of gang-like camaraderie came out very clearly in this beating death tape of Tyre Nichols. Um, what do I have here, Will? Lord have mercy. Let me get myself together here because I wanted to watch it. I figured most of y'all might have watched it, and again, who of us needs this trauma? I can completely understand for those who chose not to watch it. But because it was dropping, and I hate to even say it like that too, and I don't even like how this shit was kind of like marketed as a fucking mixtape, like all week for the past 2 weeks. Oh, it's going to drop after the parents get a chance to see it or the family gets a chance to see it. Oh, well, it's going to drop in a couple weeks. Actually, we're going to move that release date up to Friday night. Who the fuck drops this kind of shit on a Friday night? And the explanation reported by the news from coming from Memphis officials is that they wanted all schools to be out, all extracurricular activities to be wrapped up in the city of Memphis before releasing the tape. And I'm like, all right, man. Whatever you say. Horrific. Absolutely terrible. So, throw up the picture of them pussy ass pigs, Will. All these officers fired after an administrative investigation. I think it should be the first thing. It's a tweet, but it's the image. Look at these guys, man. Just look at them. I don't even know what to say. Pigs is the first word that comes to mind. Anti-black is the second word that comes to mind. Coons. overseers, disgraces, murderers. Hopefully, in the very near future, convicts, convicted murderers. That's what I want to hear. That's exactly what I want to hear. Um, I saw a lot of calls. First of all, hold on. Because this has been a hell of a week. Has it not been a hell of a week? This has been an incredible week for police to really make the case for themselves why they need to be abolished. And I want us to play this clip from the Memphis police chief. It's brief, but let's hear that clip.
Hold on one second. Sorry.
Oh, Shirley, I just saw your message. I'm sorry, guys. I wasn't trying to worry y'all. I something told me to put up a post on the community section to say that I was gonna go live once the tape stopped playing. My bad, y'all. I was being that was a dick move. I apologize. My mother also texted me, asked me was everything okay. I just assumed y'all would be watching the tape, but not
I,
everybody.
I got
All
it
right.
up. CNN clip.
All right, let's listen to the chief of police from Memphis.
That's when you, Sunday morning is when you first saw the video?
That's absolutely right.
And then when you saw it, what was your reaction?
I was outraged. It was incomprehensible to me. It was unconscionable, and I felt that I needed to do something and do something quickly. I don't think I've witnessed anything of that nature in my entire career.
Really?
Really,
That bad?
it was that bad.
What are we going to see then?
You're going to see acts that defy humanity. You're going to see a disregard for life, duty of care that we're all sworn to, and a level of physical interaction that is above and beyond what is required in law enforcement. And I'm sure that, as I said before, that individuals watching will feel what the family felt. And if you don't, then you're not a human being. And we all are human beings. And I think there will be a measure of sadness as well.
The Memphis chief of police there. I'm sorry, I really don't care to know her name because it doesn't really matter to me what her name is because she still represents and upholds a system. Despite her words, Memphis police are no angels out here. This is not the first time that this police agency, this specific agency, has been violent with Black people in its community by Black officers. We have talked about some incidents the Memphis Police Department have done on this program. A segment we did about our men being sexually assaulted by police specifically. We focused on a Black man who he and a friend's son, a teenager, were raped. For all intents and purposes, they were violated on the street and had to sue the Memphis Police Department. They alleged that it was a Black officer and a Asian or Middle Eastern officer that assaulted them on the street. Memphis Police. I think we've talked about untested rape kits in the state of Tennessee, but undoubtedly Shelby County, where Memphis is located, is included in that as well. So this is not. I mean, that's. I mean, I know who I'm talking to here, gang. I know we know all cops are bastards. Cops ain't shit. Okay, across the board, from sea to shining sea, every single city, state, federal agency you could think of, these cops ain't shit top to bottom. But we can throw the spotlight on Memphis and Tennessee for the purpose of talking about Tyree here. So I don't want to hear from the police chief, and I don't want to fucking hear from DC police. Oh, by the way, they activated all all police. If you on the job, you working tonight in DC. They told all the cops they had to show up to work tonight. They put the fencing back up around the US Capitol like they did after January 6th. Let me explain something to you. Niggas ain't never ran up on a Capitol, okay? That's not, that is not, stop your foolishness, DC police. But I'm guessing it's the same shit where y'all are. And it took these cops and these elected officials and whomever else 2 entire weeks, a little over 2 weeks, to release this tape to the media because they wanted to make sure that all of their battle accoutrements were in a row. They had to make sure all the tanks were properly gassed up. They had to make sure all the National Guards were ready and at and standing by. I believe in the state of Georgia, the governor, Brian Kemp there, has declared a state of emergency, called up the Georgia National Guard. I think it's a state of emergency in Georgia until February the 9th. Like, they came ready to rock and roll. They were ready for this, okay? It's just so disheartening, again, that we are still dealing with these kinds of incidents, and we're going to continue to deal with it until the police are defunded and eventually abolished. There is no point to this. This is a system that is incapable of reform. You cannot train these motherfuckers better. You cannot train them not to hate Black people. You cannot train them not to have contempt for women and gay and trans people. This is in them. This is who this profession attracts. And this is who they recruit. This is who they want. Even if it's some fucking dumbass coons like these stupid motherfuckers down there in Memphis, they want some anti-Black fucking niggas to be police, to beat up on other Black people. Outrageous. Beyond contemptible. But I think it's imperative, and I don't know how. I do not know what the streets are looking like tonight, and I guess we will see. We will see when people come out. But from Joe Biden to local mayors, local governors, even Tyre Nichols' mother, this call for peaceful protests, It's gaslighting. You know what I'm saying? You are telling people to deny their actual legitimate feelings and their desire, or not even their desire. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. You do violence, you should expect the violence. You should expect it. If you choose violence, violence will choose you. But the U.S. law apparatus and the military apparatus, both, all of it, the whole system of it, wants to have the market on violence covered exclusively. Only they can be violent. They are the overlords of violence. Let's not ye be violent. Only the police get to be violent. Only the U.S. military gets to be violent. Nobody else gets to be violent. Y'all have to stay in y'all place. Y'all have to swallow all of that rage that has been building up for hundreds of years. And definitely throughout the course of your lifetime, we have all experienced our version of America's heinous racism that eats one of us a day, 2 or 3 of us a day. So much so that last year, 2022, was the most violent year on record for police murders. But I don't hear Joe Biden. I don't hear elected Democrats. I don't hear them say shit about that. And I guess they wouldn't, because technically they don't know it. Because federal agencies, the FBI, CIA, they don't really keep track of that information. Nor do they keep track of deaths in police custody. Nor do they keep track of how many people end up dead while incarcerated. The entire carceral system is killing us by the thousands yearly, for all the fuck we know. I'm just over this. Like, but I don't say burn it down facetiously, seriously, because I know that there is a better alternative. There are so many brilliant abolitionists that have come with very detailed policies about the ways in which this horrific institution of U.S. policing can be dismantled and other shit repurposed, those resources repurposed. I couldn't even bring myself, and I know I should have, but I couldn't bring myself to look at what the fucking Memphis Police budget was. All I saw was brand new charges in the body cam video. They had all new shit. You know what I'm saying? So goddamn various. The fact that these black cops got no protection from not only their police department, but from their police union. I said, serves you fucking niggas right. It serves you niggas right. I'm glad the white folks left y'all dumbasses out to dry. I'm glad, ecstatic, happy. Because if you don't have, fuck what you heard. I know they teach you how to be a goddamn savage in the police department. I know they teach you to suspend any type of humanity you may have had for black people. I understand that. They train that into you. And some of them, I'm sure they don't have to train very hard, right? But I look at them country Memphis boys. I look at them boys who were them cops. The boys got mamas. Them boys got grandmamas. Them boys got brothers and sisters. Them boys got nieces and nephews. Each of them, all of them. I don't even know for a fact they do, but I know they do. And nothing within them told them, nothing that their grandparents taught them. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to sound overly moralistic here, but I just know Southern black folks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Southern black folks. I know them boys went to church. I know it. I know it. And nothing in them told them not to do that. Put them under the fucking jail. Under the jail. Very. Anyway. But I don't have compassion for black cops. I do not have compassion for the black police. I do not. And again, because I know how disrespectful it comes across when you say that you don't have respect for no cops or military. Not disrespectful to y'all, because you know y'all are radicals and shit. And y'all say fuck the police. Y'all teach y'all kids to say fuck the police, and I appreciate the shit. Truly, I do. But to the mainstream folks, even to Democrats and liberals, the shit that gets said here about the police is extremist. It's radical, right? But I don't have no sympathy for black police that want to uphold systems of white supremacy and then maybe are surprised when that same institution of white supremacy and policing does not extend to you. It does not extend to you, darky. No. All that police union puffing and puffing, all that, the back the blue, no matter who, all that shit, that shit does not extend to you, Officer Rashad Johnson. We know that don't extend to you. And if you didn't know, you should know. And that's not just the case here in the States. I saw this clip. I think this was from ITV London. And it was an exclusive with black police that are Metropolitan Police officers. And when I tell you these fucking sellout ass coon ass pigs was crying the fucking blues, they said, "Where? We didn't know. We didn't know it was going to be so racist. We didn't know." You didn't? What the fuck didn't you know? Why didn't you know? Weren't you the same black males getting your ass kicked by the police your whole fucking life coming up in London town? You didn't think that the same institution that you were joining was also racist? Let's run this clip, man, and please feel free to laugh at these fucking coons, okay? Laugh at these fucking coons, because these coons, I don't have sympathy for coons. I don't, because you old enough and black enough to know the fucking game. Whether or not you are kicking it with the whites, or you grew up around whites, or you are going to work around or going to school with the whites, I don't care where you are. I don't care how many white friends you've had. You have been reminded of your Negro status, especially in the UK. Especially in the UK. And if your dumbass went in there, eyes wide shut, to the fact that you were going to run headlong into racism. Oh, and maybe see some other forms of oppression in there at the same time. No words, my G. No words. But let's look at this. And this is only a snippet. The interview, I think, was 7 minutes. This is like 3. It's compelling, guys. It's compelling. It's a bunch of wham. It's a bunch of wham from the black cops. Black cop, black cop, black cop. Fuck them niggas. Let's watch this shit, Will. Run it.
Can you prove you're a serving officer?
He says he was once proud to join the police.
You're putting your job at risk simply being here today. Just how difficult a decision was it?
It wouldn't happen through the media team. It would be edited in order to make sure that the truth is expressed. Then this is the way to do it.
Alongside a fellow officer, they have broken ranks to speak to me about the Metropolitan Police's toxic culture.
I see the strong sense of arrogance and power they feel they have over black people and ethnic minority people. Because there's too many allowances and too many excuses being made for the officers' behaviours for their wrongdoing.
After working for the Met for decades, these black officers have made a series of serious allegations about racism and sexual abuse, and they say it's the body that represents the rank and file officers that is holding back the nation's biggest police force.
It can't go on. It really can't go on.
During their time working within the Met, both officers have seen the 1999 Stephen Lawrence inquiry to last year's Baroness Casey report. They say the unfulfilled promises of institutional change have left a heavy toll on their mental health.
I nearly killed myself as a result of discrimination. You know, the shock of the fact that I pledged my allegiance to the organization, but when I looked for their allegiance, they were nowhere.
The police's fatal shooting of unarmed black man Chris Cabba to the strip search of 15-year-old schoolgirl Child Q. Just 2 of the many incidents that both officers say has made them consider quitting the force.
Confused, angry. The reason I say that there is report after report coming in where people like us are being killed. You know, people like us are being stopped and searched more than any other group. And our children are being strip searched, you know, without adults with them. It's not nice to hear it occurs.
And their allegations of abuse within the Met go beyond just the treatment of black people. Last year, Wayne Couzens, a serving police officer, kidnapped and murdered Sarah Everard. This week, an elite officer, David Carrick, admitted dozens of rape and sexual offences against 12 women across 2 decades. Crimes that the officers I spoke to say mirror allegations inside their police force.
I have heard firsthand from female officers that have been sexually assaulted or raped by other police officers, shouted down on, belittled, and when they've complained, it's fallen on deaf ears. And they've been forced to work with the same officers again. It's not uncommon.
The numerous high-profile...
That excerpt from a longer piece on ITV London. Y'all should check that out. But what I told y'all was going to be a bunch of wham, a bunch of wham. Did you hear that dumbass? I'm sorry. I feel a tiny bit away calling another black person a monkey in the presence of white people. I know y'all are our white friends, but when I am upset with a coon behaving like a coon, I will absolutely call that motherfucker a monkey. Like I won't hesitate. But that monkey motherfucker talking about, oh, I didn't know. I thought I was going to have to kill myself. I didn't realize I was going to run into so much discrimination. I'm sorry, sir. You grew up in maybe a more racist country than I did. It's okay. Jesus. Serious question, chat. Serious question. Who is more racist, the United States or the United Kingdom? Right answers only. Right answers only. And I might need a one sentence explanation as to why, as to your reasoning, because I don't see how you can be black and either be born in either the UK or the US or have arrived into the UK or the US as a black person, regardless of the age. These crackers make you acutely aware of racism and your place in society. My guy, please don't tell me you walked into a flamingly racist institution such as the Metropolitan Police or truly any police agency in the West and did not expect to run head on into racism. Oh, and then was taken aback when he saw the misogyny and discovered that his female colleagues had been assaulted on the job and couldn't even complain without being belittled by, I'm assuming, all white men, because it don't seem as though these black officers had any chest or ability to speak up for themselves and do anything. This one dude said he was going to kill himself, and how he was considering leaving. Considering. Nigga, let me explain something to you, dog. If that had been me, it would never have been me. But let it have been me. Let me tell you what I'd have considered doing something very bad on the way out the door. It wouldn't even been I'm considering leaving. No, I'm considering whether or not I want to spend time in jail as I walk my way out the door, or am I considering just putting in my letter of resignation and keep it pushing, or am I considering making some fucking history in here? And y'all can read into that however you want, but I'm just saying, it's just wild to me. It's just wild that any black person or non-white person would have the expectation of protection from a racist white institution such as policing. Even if you wanted to be the token or tokens to raise your hand and volunteer to be master's overseer, master will still shoot the shit out your ass too. Master will still sell you down the river also. Okay, because your worth to master is transactional. It is not unconditional at all. Who is that? Oh, it's Tyler. It's my son. Okay, hi. Hey, what's up, Chris? I'm glad to see y'all in here. I'm sorry, I got a little carried away. What's up, Carpe Diem? Are y'all laughing at me calling black people monkeys? Listen, that is some intra-community shit now. I don't want not our fire fam, of course, but sometimes we get visitors, and it's like, don't get out here feeling froggy. Non-black folks, do not get out here feeling froggy. That is a us thing. That is a us thing. But hold on. I'm sorry. I'm so a little all over the place and trying to settle myself down. But that little excerpt there from the black cops is another reason why we must actively, at every opportunity that we get, try to be discouraging our people, especially our young men. We need to discourage them at every opportunity from even considering being police or going into the military. And listen, I understand for poor Black people, joining the military or becoming a police officer is a way into the middle class. It provides you some forms of education, it provides you a stable career where you have great benefits. You know what I'm saying? You get a fucking pension. You dig? It's enticing, especially if you don't come from much, especially if where you are, people are not encouraging you to do something else, okay? I was and still, honestly, still, it breaks my heart that someone was able to talk my brother into joining the Marines. Broke my fucking heart. It broke my heart because all I could think about was, you're going to send this Black boy overseas to shoot at Black and brown people. Him, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna front, y'all. My brother is from Memphis, okay? Was born in West Memphis, Arkansas, grew up in and around Memphis, and would be an approximate age as Tyre Nichols, were he still alive. And to see that young man, Tyre actually kind of reminded me a little bit of my brother in the sense that he was clearly not dangerous. He was clearly not meaning the police any harm. He was trying to be cooperative, but he got scared. And he had a right to fucking be scared, obviously, because it was some killers after him. So I can understand why he ran. But getting back, I'm sorry, I got a little off track there. But please tell your boys and girls and non-binaries, will definitely tell your LGBTQ people, do not join fucking military or the police, because they're gonna make it triply worse for them anyway. But being Black in these white supremacist institutions such as policing, that is born out of keeping Black people in place, keeping Black people in check, protecting property, or dictating military dominance around the globe in places very far away from America, going on missions that have nothing to do with upholding democracy and everything to do with making sure that capitalism and America's control and the West's control on capitalism in the interest of countries far away from here remain firmly in grasp. Please don't let the young people in your life do that. Please don't let them do that. Give them any other alternative but that. Don't let them do that. Don't send them out to be agents of evil. Don't send them out there to be agents of white supremacy and neocolonialism and fucking capitalism. Don't let them do that. Like, get mad at them if you have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, take serious steps, because there is no place for Black people in these positions. And for anybody to think that making police forces somehow diverse and inclusive is going to fix the issue of anti-Blackness and police brutality in these institutions, you are living a pipe dream, man. There is no reforming this. We've had Black cops for decades now. And look at fucking Eric Adams' ass. Jesus. That's what fucking Black cops get you. Jesus. Get you a fucking Sambo who don't care about anybody. All right. I don't even know what I'm doing. What time is it? we had some places to go. Maybe we'll get there. Maybe we won't, because we do have an AMA tonight. By the way, thank you all so much to all of our patrons and our members. We do have an AMA tonight, which should be starting, now. But clearly, it has not started. But there's a couple things I wanted to just bring to y'all's attention really quick. pop up that Cal Matters piece for me if you could, Will, because sticking with this issue of police murder, which, by the way, like I said, the police have killed a record amount of people in the year 2022. And given the fact that we have seen not only the death of Tyre Nichols this year, but we have seen a forest defender, Manuel Tejan Tortuguita, be murdered in the Atlanta forest while he was peacefully protesting, while we have seen the young man in Los Angeles. I'm so sorry, his name escapes me right now. Who was tasered to death, the 31-year-old who was actually from DC. The LAPD, by the way, the same day that they killed that young man, they killed, not the same day, within the same 48-hour span, they killed 2 other people. And I believe it was being reported today on social media that Huntington Park Police killed somebody also in the Los Angeles area. So whereas 2022 was already a record year for police murders, 2023 is starting off hot, coming in fucking hot. The piece from Cal Matters, okay, says State Justice Department hasn't probed or even logged all police shootings of possibly unarmed people. And this is a very important facet because, you know, when Democrats and Republicans stand side by side and say that, you know, we're not going to defund the police, we need to refund the police or whatever, and they talk about reform, they never talk about actually keeping track of how many people that these law enforcement agencies murder every single day, month, year. So let me break y'all off with this right here. So the California Department of Justice told Cal Matters that it can't say how many cases that it chose not to investigate police shootings. Right? The department told Cal Matters that it can't say how many cases it chose not to investigate during the past 18 months in a new state law. Wait. I'm sorry. That's not what that says. The department told Cali Matters that it can't say how many cases it chose not to investigate during the past 18 months under a new state law, which aimed to ensure state oversight of police shootings. Okay, I don't need it in Spanish, but thank you. A law passed in the 2020, a law that was passed in 2020 compels the state justice department to investigate all incidents in which a police officer shot and killed someone who is unarmed. But the State Department of Justice isn't investigating all of those incidents. The law enforcement agencies are referring to at least 17 cases to date. The state has opted not to investigate. The exact number and details about those cases are a bit of a mystery, but Cal Matters has learned that the Justice Department says that it has not been tracking each report received and investigation reports. And investigation or reports, okay? It says after Cal Matters began raising questions back in November, the department managed to track down some information on the 17 rejected cases and acknowledged that there were more. So, what they are discovering is that even laws that are compelling oversight and accountability, if the motherfuckers don't follow the law, if ain't nobody actually doing what the law says, then isn't this a police reform? Isn't this supposed to help fix the problem? In addition to retraining, in addition to more funding, aren't legislators supposed to pass laws to help keep police accountable? But if the people don't want to follow the law, if the state justice department in California don't even want to follow the law, what are we doing here, y'all? Who is this farce for? What is this act for? They're trying to keep us lulled to sleep, y'all, while they keep expanding police forces. They keep trying to give us this little bit of tepid, piecemeal, quote unquote reforms, which we all know are not fucking reforms, but it's enough to placate the masses, right? Even, good meaning, well intentioned people of a certain, socioeconomic background who maybe themselves don't hate the police. They think the police are a necessary function, but when they see these horrific instances of police brutality, it makes them feel a little bad and they want to see something done. So they defer to the lawmakers. They defer to fucking these bullshit fucking Democrats, because we know the Republicans ain't gonna do shit, but the Democrats will at least pretend to do a tiny something. But whoa, even when the motherfuckers actually do pass some shit, you can't make these police themselves. Come on. It's not realistic. It's not realistic. Do me a favor, Will. Pop up. Let me pull this up. Pop up that image from Community Movement Builders. There's a lot happening this weekend, you guys, in terms of actions. As you can imagine, I would imagine there's a lot of actions happening on tonight for certain. One thing that the Community Movement Builders is doing tomorrow. Oh, is it tomorrow or Sunday? It's Sunday. They're having Anti-Repression Day. Okay. They're going to have a number of guests speaking. You can locate these folks down at the address of 134 Cleveland Avenue. I believe all of this is in Atlanta. They have a number of workshops representing radicals workshops, which is going to be some movement lawyers and joint defense information for local attorneys and legal workers, especially if you're going to be in them streets going toe to toe with them cops. Yeah, you might want to check this out. Also, 2 to 4 p.m. on Sunday, they're having a Know Your Rights with the federal, state, and encounters with law enforcement. That is a workshop happening from 2 to 4. So if you're in the Atlanta area, check out the Community Movement Builders along with the Black Alliance for Peace. BAP, big up to BAP, is doing this as well. So yeah, follow these organizations, everybody. Just pay attention, because this is the kind of training, this is the kind of political education that folks, our communities, absolutely need. We absolutely need it. Because they are building these cop cities and cop villages for the purposes of things that are happening potentially this weekend and tonight. People who are ready to make America feel what we've been feeling for 400 years, right? They're ready to bring that motherfucking ruckus. But the state is ready to clap back. But again, I guess everybody gonna be clapping. Oh God, it's a round of applause. It's a round of applause. All right, y'all, hold on. Let me take a little pause. My bad. Thank you guys for being here. Do me a favor, if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. I'm sure you all are. Please hit like on the video. Do a thing. Smash a thing. Like a thing. Follow the channel places at BIDWKB. If you don't mind, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Burn It Down KB. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you all so very much. So the other thing I'm pissed about before I let y'all go, in addition to police violence and obviously the outrageous ways in which the state will commit unending acts of violence against us and then demand for us to be peaceful. One way that the state has been able to get complicity out of people, to get acquiescence out the people, is to move along from a global pandemic. Yes, I know it's January, the end of January 2023. And surely, Kim, you can't still be talking about COVID. Oh, yes, the fuck I can. Because, say it with me, y'all, COVID is still out here jumping on people, okay? The US over the past several weeks has been experiencing a COVID surge, okay? It's kind of got reported upon, kind of not been reported upon. I think in recent weeks we had 1 week where there were reported to be 4,000 COVID deaths in a week. Is that right? Do I have that right, guys? All my COVID watchers, all my COVID activists, and you should be a fucking COVID activist. You know why? Because this virus is not mild, it's not weak. This virus has killed over 1 million people. I would imagine surely got to be knocking on 2 million by now, but I guess I'm talking 2 million here in the US alone. But of course, we'll never know those numbers because all the COVID data has been played with. They have been playing funny with the COVID data. They've been playing funny with the COVID data for some time now. And in fact, despite the fact that there have been lots of studies indicating all of the potential disabling effects and lingering long COVID effects that this virus can have on your very important parts, like your heart, like your brain, like your lungs, like your kidneys, even your eyes, even your wang, fellas, the wang. that should be the fucking story. Let me do stories about how COVID is fucking with your dick. Niggas we be buying masks by the truckload, okay? This man wouldn't go nowhere without his mask. If he knew for a fact that COVID was fucking with his wang, oh man, the niggas be double masking, triple. But hey, man, the nigga gonna put a mask on his face and on his winger. You telling niggas some shit make his dick sick. This nigga start paying attention. Like, what? Seriously? For real? No, for real? Yeah. Oh yeah. But so here's what I wanted to say about COVID. I mean, there's several things I wanted to say about COVID, but this is what y'all should be taking away from fucking COVID. Pop up that Forbes piece if you could there for me, Will. Because last week at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, where all the supervillains go to play, they all fly in on their translucent private jets, gassed up on vibranium, and they all go up there to do the worst circle jerks ever known to man. It's crazy. But let me tell you what the billionaires did not go in there do. The billionaires did not go in there and was playing with fucking COVID. No. It was pretty intense, the level of COVID mitigation precautions that were taken amongst the billionaires. Now, listen, I know we don't have a lot of, they sleep, we grind types in this chat. I hope not. You in the wrong place, baby. This is not a earn your leisure kind of space, dog. Like, we don't aspire to be billionaires over here, baby. We aspire for liberation. Y'all niggas can aspire to go to Davos and whatever the fuck, and be with the Maybachs and da all that bougie shit. Y'all niggas can do that shit. We don't do that shit over here with the Fire Fam. But let me tell you what the billionaires were doing. Like I said, the billionaires had their shit together in terms of the COVID mitigation. For one, if you thought you was coming in Davos with no masks, they was going to deactivate your shit, deactivate your little entrance chipped up bracelet. They said, nay, you can't come in here with no mask. They were using top technology HEPA filters, air filters. The ventilation in there was pristine. And to the extent that the ventilation could not be pristine, you saw some of the attendees of Davos wearing their outerwear indoors. Why were they wearing their outerwear indoors? Well, because it was cold, because they had the windows open. Why would you have the windows open? Oh, yes, to better foster air circulation and ventilation. Did I say the masking was required? Y'all heard that, right? The masking was required. So look at how the elites have played all up in our faces, told us to get back to work, told us to send our children back to school, told us that masking mandates were killing businesses and that we didn't need masking mandates anymore because we have the vaccine. We have the vaccine. The fucking vaccine. And so the COVID is over. Everything can go back to normal. All things can resume. So how come the billionaires aren't going back to normal, huh? Because the billionaires read the fucking science, okay? And I know some of us have read some of the science, and trust me, if you've read any of the science on COVID, there's no way you could be out here unmasked. No fucking way. There's no way. Hold on, but let someone far more brilliant and articulate than I explain the thing very succinctly and very cutely. We're going to hear from disability rights activist Imani Barbarin. Imani be grabbing the ables. She be grabbing the ables. She be grabbing. She be grabbing the ables and she be snatching that ass like, you ableist pieces of shit. Let me read y'all for filths up and down on Twitter, on TikTok. Imani be reading the ables and ableist and the ableism in society. She reads it all the way down. So I want us to hear from Imani pertaining, because again, it's been disabled people, immunocompromised people who have been out here screaming for like literally 3 years that not only does COVID kill people at this point, vaccinated or whatever, but it is a mass disability event. It is not only disabling healthy people, it is basically a eugenics incident, event, been left to run unchecked, and has killed elderly, disabled, and immunocompromised people of all ages. I say elderly because it has killed a lot of old people too, but it's killed a lot of not old people as well, everybody. But anyway, let Imani tell everybody the way that the billionaires and the elites and the corporate classes have played all of us.
If you're somebody not wearing a mask in public spaces right now, I hate to be the one to break it to you. Not really, but you've been fucking played. Because these are the images that are coming out of the World Economic Forum. First off, they're testing you right at the door. You test positive for COVID, your bracelet gets deactivated. You refuse to test, your bracelet gets deactivated. There are HEPA filters in every room, and people are wearing jackets because they have the windows open. And look at that. Masks. You all got fucking played. You all are out here talking about hustle culture, intergenerational wealth. There is none for you. There's none. When you're disabled, you can't make money. Hell, because everything is reliant upon your access to healthcare, which has income limits, you probably can't even get or stay married in a lot of cases. And you all are sitting up here talking about, we're going to set up guillotines for the rich and the powerful. They already set up guillotines and you walked right towards them. This is what collapse looks like. We're already there.
Imani Barbarin right there letting everybody know that, if COVID is over, it's not over for the elites, and they're taking it way more seriously than the rest of us are. And let me tell y'all this truly, and I say this with all seriousness. I'm not trying to shame people. I'm not trying to make nobody feel bad. It's just the reality of the situation. Like if you're not masking in indoor public places, there's nothing radical about that. To be radical, I think, is to radically care for your community, okay? Care for those closest to you, care for those who you may not even know. That's what I think is radical. It's radical to show love to strangers, okay? And it's not a gross imposition on folks to wear a mask when you are around other people. Y'all, this pandemic has been going on for 3 years. Again, I haven't had the COVID. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure that's for a variety of reasons. But I'm telling you, when I do go out in the world and I'm around other people, I'm wearing a mask. Y'all, I told y'all we went out to lunch for my mother's birthday. This was December. Went out to one of my favorite places, Jerry's Seafood in Bowie. Is delicious. Y'all, I was noited up the whole fucking time. I was so fucking, I was in that bitch noited the fuck up. I was noited up because I had to take my mask off to eat. And it's a packed. I said, oh my God, oh my God, is today the day? Is today the day I'm going to get the fucking COVID? Jesus. Who ran us some bucks? Hey, peace, King. Thank you so much. King says, fuck the police. And I'm glad that we got to catch you today with your blunt. Thank you, King. King, I listen, but for me being pre-distracted by this release of this police murder tape, I was ready to roll up and be blowing tonight because somebody in the chat or somebody commented, asked how come we ain't no way, ain't no we, it's a I, how come I don't blow tree on here no more? It's no particular reason. I just haven't. But I think we're going to start. I think we're going to resume blowing the tree. Hey, what's up, Northern Witch? Love your fire fam. Love you, fire fam. Stay dangerous, Dee. Thank you, baby. Franny Francais. Franny, thank you so much for re-upping as a patron. Franny! Franny, thank you. Someone else joined us as a patron, but Franny has been a ride or die out here. And the fact that you re-upped your patronage really, really means a lot, Franny. Thank you. Christina S. Thank you, Christina. Thank you. Did I already thank you, Nicole? I can't recall, but thank you, Nicole, for becoming a new patron. Christina S., thank you so much for becoming a patron. Guys, patreon.com/BIDWKB. I'm sorry, it was an opportune time to mention that. Anyway, hold on. I'm not done with y'all with COVID. I'm not fucking finished with y'all with fucking COVID. Because again, the COVID is serious. It's serious. Like, it is so serious, y'all. I'm telling you, I have a feeling like I say 5 years, I say 10 years, but really there's enough people sounding the alarm now that we should be truly ashamed of this right now. But I feel like truly when we have these children as the kids who were forced back into school come of age, and hopefully not, but some of them likely will, when some of them are looking at some long-term health effects because they've had multiple COVID infections, they're going to look at us, the adults, allegedly, the adults, like, the fuck were y'all thinking? Like, you sent us out in a pandemic. They sent us out in a pandemic. And it's stupid shits like Joe Biden who get out there, him being a vulnerable character to succumb to COVID. It's like, nigga, you of all people need to be actually being way more cautious out here, if at all possible. We'll pop up that tweet from the Navajo Nation. I was very disappointed to see this tweet as well, and from the replies underneath of it. It seemed like some of the tribal members of the Navajo Nation was like, the fuck? So the president of the Navajo Nation, I think the somewhat recently elected president of the Navajo Nation. And if we have any Navajo people here, he looks is he Vietnamese? Because his last name is like Nguyen, Nygren. I'm a shut up. Boo Van Gwyn. And I know natives look Asian. I don't know. I was like, is the Bama, is he Navajo by way of Vietnam? But I'm being facetious and I'm gonna be quiet because I'm out of my lane. But listen to this tweet. It says, today, with the Navajo Department of Health and Navajo Nation Council Speaker Pro Tem Tao. Oh, so that's what I'm saying. TSO, isn't that an Asian name? I'm gonna be quiet. We are announcing the lifting of the mask mandates for the general public and all businesses effective 5 p.m. today. I think this was last week that he posted this. Let's get to work for our people. Now, I was surprised to see this. Can you guys imagine why I was surprised to see this? Yep, you guessed it, because COVID ran through Indian country in a very horrific way. So many elders in tribal nations were lost to COVID. And the Navajo Nation, I believe, was greatly impacted by COVID and lost a lot of its members, particularly a lot of its elders. So I was very surprised to see this tweet coming from the Navajo Nation president. And some of the replies under the tweet were like, I voted for you, and this is what the fuck you say. And other replies included, what do businesses have to do with wearing masks? You can wear your mask inside the business. The business is open and you can be masked in the business. There has been a suspension of reality, okay? But the reality is that all of this has to be, if not premeditatedly intentional, there was a realization as the pandemic began to take hold by somebody's that, hey, we could kill a lot of birds with this one stone. And I don't know if it's to the extent, or we're talking about people that were undesirables, maybe unhoused people, poor people, black people, sick people, old people, immunocompromised people, people who just, weren't strong enough. The Darwinism came in, right? I just can't see how much or why there was so much preventable death allowed to take place with COVID, and still taking place, by the way. Still taking place, by the way. The XBB DOGG 1.5 staying alive, that version, that shit's filling up the hospitals, honey. COVID is still out here running a fucking muck. And Joe Biden's not going to do it. He's not coming to save us. Pop up that article if you could for me, Will. Now, when the insurance companies start talking a thing. Now, the shit done came out. Check this out. Hold on. This was posted by WFYI. Indianapolis's. Is this their NPR affiliate, their PBS station? It says an insurance executive says that the death rates among working age people are up 40%. I'm sorry, what? Up 40%. The insurance executives said this. As COVID-19 deaths approach 19,000 in Indiana, the insurance industry has been processing claims at a record rate. Nationally, more than 824,000 people have died from the virus. It doesn't say within which time frame, though. Quote, we're seeing right now the highest death rates that we've ever seen in the history of this business, said Scott Davidson, the CEO of One America, a $100 billion life insurance and retirement company headquartered in Indianapolis. Quote, the data is consistent across every player in the business. Davidson said that the death rates among working age people, those aged 18 to 64 years old, are up 40% in the third and fourth quarter of 2021 over pre-pandemic levels. Quote, just to give you an idea of how bad this is, a stigma a 3 sigma or 200-year catastrophe would be a 10% increase over pre-pandemic levels, Davidson said. So 40% is just unheard of. He said the data shows that COVID deaths are greatly understated among working age Americans. Davidson says that One America expects to pay out more than $100 million in short and long term disability claims due to the pandemic. Quote, whether it's long COVID or whether it's because people haven't been able to get to the healthcare or get the healthcare that they need because the hospitals are so overrun, we're seeing those claims start to tick up as well, he said. Because of this, insurance companies are beginning to add premiums. Is that right? Uh-oh. Oh, yeah, that was always going to be another side effect of the COVID pandemic, by the way. It's probably going to be increasingly more difficult to get life insurance because they're going to start asking people, have you ever had a COVID infection? And that could determine whether or not you get coverage. Davidson said that nearly all of One America's employees have been working from home since the start of the pandemic. But to be fully effective, he said the company needs to be working on at least a hybrid schedule. He said that the challenge that we have is that 84% of our people are vaccinated, and we have heard loud and clear from our vaccinated employees that they want no part of working in an open office environment. And with, what does that say? And with the commingle them with unvaccinated people, that they will consider the workplace as unsafe. You know, I normally don't say listen to insurance. But when we're talking about insurance, health insurance, life insurance, these people are bean counters. They are actuaries, right? I didn't know what an actuary was, nor did I know what actuarial sciences were until I was my boyfriend in college majored in actuarial science. These people are very smart in math. They calculate risk. And so the insurance is not looking at the fucking politics. The insurance companies are not looking at, whatever the fuck Joe Biden is talking about, whatever the fuck Moderna is talking about. I heard the man did mention vaccinations. Even still, no, they count the beans. That's what they do. And they said that the beans are too multiple to count because the death rate amongst working age people is up 40% over pre-pandemic levels. Tasha just ran us some bucks. Thank you, Tasha. Tasha says, this is what happens when late stage capitalism. Come on, burn it down. Tasha, the late stage capitalism. Oh, girl, that's why. But that's why they are so pressed to make sure that Cop City gets built. They know, they understand the capitalists, the elites, the police class, the corporate class. They understand that the shit is collapsing. They know that they are on the menu. Okay, they know that they is liable to get ate out here. So that's why they're trying to rev up the police state even more. So refund the police, make sure the police have more, because they're going to need the cops to try to put down all of the dissent that I hope soon will come. And big up to France. How do you say big up en français? grand the big up grand I don't fucking know. Tous les personnes françaises. Oui, oui. Vive la France. No, fuck la France. Never mind. Vive le people of France. Vive all the people that was in the cahiers. I'm getting my languages confused. Okay, let me shut up. Let me keep this pushing. But anyway, that's my COVID sermon. So y'all, please pay attention to, if you don't want to pay attention to, your regular disabled the neighbor, co-worker, family member, friend that is still very serious about their masking protocols and about how and where they operate in public, and I know I'm not talking to incompassionate people here. Y'all cannot be here and not be compassionate towards vulnerable groups. You just can't. But please tell the others, tell your inconsiderate friends and cousins and colleagues that they need to put the fucking mask on, okay, when they're indoors around other people, because the shit is not a game. People are still dying from COVID. People are still being disabled by COVID. People are still living very difficultly with long COVID. Okay, this is still a thing. The government is not here to protect us. Moderna and Pfizer, and I know I'm not turning into an anti-vaxxer, but I have mixed feelings about this yearly booster every fucking year. How do we know if the booster is updated to reflect the new remixed variants that continue to evolve because COVID continues to evolve? Like, I'm just going to keep masking. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep masking and washing my fucking hands. And I suggest y'all do the same. And this is the last thing I'm going to do. And I'm going to set y'all free because Will's probably sick of me. I'm going to set y'all free real quick. So, the last thing I wanted to show you guys, because I was trying to find good news. Couldn't find it. Couldn't find no good news. But I saw an act of resistance. Okay. And not a blow was thrown, nothing was broken, none of that. But there was a clip making its way around the internet of this Black woman who is an activist in the Los Angeles area. Okay, let me get her name straight. What this woman does, she runs an outreach program that provides like toiletries and hygienic care to those who are unhoused in the LA area. Her name is Shirley Raines, and this is what her Twitter bio says. Shirley Raines, the name of her 501c3 is called Beauty to the Streets. Okay, it's a nonprofit organization that provides makeup, showers, and hair color and more for homeless women, serving Skid Row. And she is soliciting donations at her website. And the website is Beauty to the Streets. Beauty, BEAUTY, the number 2, THE, Streets, STREETZ.org. Beauty, the number 2, the streets with a Z.org. Okay. Now, the other thing, she's in Long Beach. The other thing that Shirley does, look at us. We love the Shirleys. We love us some Shirleys. The other thing Shirley does is that she feeds unhoused people in Long Beach every weekend. And the video clip that she posted was her about to do her service, food service for the unhoused in front of this church. And the tweet reads, it says, the red is in front of the church, right? That asks us to come and feed the homeless. Neighbors called the cops on us Friday for, quote, being in the way. Dear Long Beach neighbors, you clearly don't know who I am. I will not be moved by cops. The only way that truck moves is when it is done feeding. And I want you guys to watch the video. Watch the video as this Black woman is approached by the police, and watch how she just get away. She just hand waved that nigga away. Take a look.
How are you?
Another blessed day.
Thank you, you too. Here's your water. Enjoy. Thank you, my love. We appreciate it. Come on. Oh. Wait, King. Wait. Car. This is mine.
So, someone's calling because you're parked in the red and they want to ask if you can. I don't want to ask you a ticket. They're just calling because they're upset that this truck's parked and it's blocking the crosswalk and it's parked in the red.
Yeah, I think they're just more upset that we're feeding the homeless. We're actually helping the church right here. Well, we'll be done in about, probably that line. As soon as we finish that line, we can pull off. But we're going to continue to finish feeding since we have a line of people that are hungry. I don't think we're really blocking anything so much. It's just they just don't like the crowd that's here.
No, I'm not trying to...
No, I completely understand. I do.
I don't know if you can possibly back up a little more.
We can try to scooch it back a bit, but it shouldn't be too much longer before we finish with this crowd and we'll be out of there. Okay. Yep. Thank you so much. I do appreciate your time. Next, come on, my love. We appreciate you waiting. Fuck out of here if you think I'm moving. Hey, just the people around here. That's why I'm like Long Beach. Fuck out of here. Bitch, I'm gonna feed, and when I'm done, I'll move my goddamn truck. That's right. Thank you, King, for your patience. You can stay right there. You're on the cane. We'll bring you your food. I need to see that.
I love black women. Dog. We undefeated. I love it when black women can turn on the smile and the charm. And we don't mean any of it. We don't mean a single second of it. Oh, well, I'm sorry. We'll tell you what, we will be happy to move as soon as we're fucking done. Yeah. Oh, I don't really think that we're so much in the way. Maybe we'll try to scooch it in a little bit, but we'll be done shortly. Fuck up my face. Fuck up my face. A sister out there doing Lord's work, doing Allah's work, doing Buddha's work, doing the work. We will not be failed or deterred or derailed by bitch niggas like fucking racist neighbors. And y'all know. Yeah, and maybe it was some bougie niggas who called the police. I doubt it. I mean, it's possible. It is possible. But calling the police because homeless people's being fed, that smells like the whites. Y'all know that smells like the whites, not the radical whites, of course, but it smells like them crackers whites. It smells like saltines. It smells like oyster crackers. It smells like clubs. It smells like grams. It just smells like animal crackers. It smells like crackers. But big up to Shirley. Big up to Shirley Raines and the work that she does. Beauty to the streets. We will actually send Shirley some support for her organization and the work that she does. So I just wanted to share that with you. Again, a small act of resistance that is emblematic of Black women's and Black people's dedication to feeding and doing for our community, even in the face of bitch assery. even when bitch niggas present themselves, we will not be deterred. We will not be moved. So anyway, gang, that's the show. God damn, it's 9:00. Give me 10-ish minutes. AMAers. If you are a patron or a member of the channel, give me about 10 minutes to let the pups out. Tasha, thank you so much. What is this you sent? You said big up to the Haitian Creole, the Conpe, the Toot, and the Moon. Big up to the Creole, the Creole. Les gens Creole. I do not speak Creole. I speak a little bit of Francais. But I would love to learn Creole. It's patois for French, right? It's the patois, but for France, but for le français. Oui. Anyway, gang, thank you all so much for showing up here. Thank you so much to Will and Molly for doing what they always do. Thank you, Latif. Thank you, Carpe Diem. Hold on, why is all my mods must have left because they're holding all the comments are being held. Who else we got here? Thank you, Tasha. Thank you, James. Thank you, James. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Nawadi. Is my baby Vesper in here? Oh, of course, Latif. Love Latif. Thank you, Northern Witch. Thank you, D. Thank you, Linda. Oh, good. We got to. It's Afra. Afra, I have a question for you, but anyway, I'll hold it. I'll hold it because I have done Tasia. Tasia, thank you so much. Tasia, you have sent some things that I have not properly shouted you out. Thank you, Tasia. Thank you for all your continued support of the channel. Thank you, Tasia. Thank you so much for all your support. Big Teal, love to see. Big Teal, why did Doctor do you dirty like that, Big Teal? Why Doctor say that Big Teal was one of his biggest haters? I said you better stop it. Big Teal's not a hater. Big Teal just called the shit like she see it. Big Teal just called it like she see it. Quaker, thank you, baby. Thank you. Who was that? Oh, the Gamandis. What's up, Dave? What's up, BJ? Gangrene Tom. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. Holly, did I already shout you out? Sometimes I know I double up on the things that because I just be forgetting. Y'all understand. Guys, Shirley, of course, we love Shirley. All right, y'all. That's my time. I'm out. Imani, thank you so much. Renee, big up to Renee who came through as well. So yeah, AMAers, give me about 10 minutes. Let me go check on the pups and I'll see y'all in the spot. Thank you again on behalf of Will and Molly. We appreciate all that you do. Don't forget, COVID, still out here jumping on people. Please wear your good mask, wash your hands, social distance. Do what you got to do to keep you and yours and everybody else safe. Love you guys. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Thank y'all for the late show. Thank you.